I just picked up one of these Icon lights. I've got a couple of different ones from Harbor Freight. I've got the smaller folding light. I have one of the small circular Braun lights. This one's a little bit bigger. It has a much bigger battery, a longer bar, and a couple other cool features. Well, it took a little bit to get it out of the package. Those blister packs are always sometimes a bit of a struggle to open. And immediately, you can fold this thing closed, and it's quite a bit smaller, but it's still pretty bulky little light. There's a couple different lights on this. There's one on the front here whenever it's closed. There's a big light bar right here that runs almost the entire length of the bar. Then you unfold it. There's another light, and this one's like a warm light. And then up here at the very, very top of the bar, there's a UV light. When you press the button, it'll cycle through the different modes. So if I turn it on, first this top light bar will light up, which is extremely bright. If I hit it again, this light will light up, and it's kind of a warm shade, which just depending on what you're doing, maybe if you're doing paint, if you want to have more of like a sunlight effect, it could give you something different. Hit it again, both of them will light up. One more time, then you have that UV light. Say if you're doing repairs on AC systems, or you put like a yellow dye in something and you need to check for it, well, you can use that inspection light instead of having to have something dedicated. Whenever it's closed and you want to use that front flashlight, instead of hitting the power button, hit the button above it, and that'll turn on the spotlight. And that spotlight is really bright. I mean, I unintentionally shone it right at my eyes. That's it in the camera. It's pretty ridiculous, so that's pretty powerful in itself. Here's this small Icon bar light that's foldable as well. And I'll tell you, I absolutely love this thing. It's been phenomenal to use. It has a bar on the front, a smaller light on the back, and then one right there on the tip. And I use this all the time, every single repair. But, this will have a bit of a larger battery, so it should last a little bit longer. When you compare the sizes of the light bar, this one's a pretty decent bit bigger. I'd say 2 inches longer. So you'll have more light, and then the spotlight on the front is a little bit brighter than this one. So overall, it's a very similar thing. Everything is just a little bit larger. Now, both of these lights have magnetic bases, but one thing, if you're ever working on something that doesn't have a steel construction, this little light only has a magnet. Another thing I like about this is this little hook that's on there. So you can hang it like a normal trouble light in case you're working on something, maybe a wooden surface, or some cars have aluminum body panels and you can't stick it on the underside. At least you have that option for a hook. One thing I noticed that this larger one doesn't have, that the smaller Icon does have, is a little light on the end of the bar, and it's actually something I use all the time. So on this small one here, you can turn that on, and I have this spotlight that I can move around. Now this one here, you have one real large bar on the back that does light up quite a bit, and you can move that around. But you don't have that spotlight on the end, which isn't the end of the world, but it's something I really do use quite a lot on the smaller one. And pretty much all of the Icon, all of the Braun lights that are rechargeable charge with a USB-C cord. Typically there's one that comes with it. But I'm excited to get some use out of this. The other lights that I've had have been really good, and they've held up well after some abuse, so I'm glad to put this thing actually in the works.